G'day cobbers, welcome back to the bush. In this video we'll be checking out the Jamec Pem Auto1000 inflator. It automatically inflates and deflates your tyres. Let's get a bit closer and check out the features. Okay, the Jamec Pem inflator is chargeable by a 12 volt from the top. Now unfortunately they only supply 240 volt chargers, so if you're in the bush you're going to have to make up your own adapter. And as we turn it on, you can see there's a bright LCD display there. We have P1 and P2 and they're both settable, so from the factory there's that P1 is set to 15 psi and P2 set to 30 psi, and you can change it with the up and down button. Now there's also a feature in the Jamec Pem Auto Inflator 1000 that allows you to reseat a tyre. So if you've got a bead off, you can preset a pressure over your inflated pressure. It'll inflate to that pressure and then deflate to the set pressure, but I doubt anyone's really going to use it. So let's check it out, how it works for deflation first up. Okay, so first up we're going to use a rapid deflator. This one happens to be an ARB, and we're going to go from Matty's road going pressure of 45 psi down to an average low range pressure of 18 psi. So Matt, when you're ready, can you start the timer please? Okay, now we're down to 18 psi. We need to push in the valve because it's all part of the process. Okay, now that's taken us 1 minute and 26 seconds. So let's give the Jamec Pem a go and see how long that takes us to deflate it once we pump it back up to 45 psi. Okay, now with the Jamec Pem, we'll turn it on. Now P1's closer to our target pressure, 15 psi, we'll bump it up to 18 psi. Now we'll join it up. Matt, can you start the timer please? Which is already done. And we'll get it going. We'll see how long it takes. There we go. We're now at 18 psi, and that's taking considerably longer. It's taken 3 minutes and 45 seconds to deflate down from 45 psi to 18 psi. And don't forget, you also have the inconvenience of having to run a pressurized line to your deflator before you can deflate the tyres. Not so much of an inconvenience if you have a hard mounted air compressor, but a bit more of an inconvenience if, like Matt, you have a compressor, a portable one that you carry in the back of your vehicle. But what about inflation? Let's have a look at that. Okay, now for inflation. We'll go back to turning it on. We'll go to 45 psi. Matt, can you start the timer please? There we go. And we'll see how long it takes from 18 psi up to 45 psi. Okay, we're back up to 45 psi. Now, that's taking us 2 minutes and 16 seconds. But what about a traditional inflator? Is this one slowing it down at all? Let's check that out. Okay, we're back down to 18 psi again, and this time we're going to try it with a traditional inflator. Now, this one came with the King's Thumper Max, so it's just a traditional analog inflator. Matt, can you start the timer please? And we'll go back up to 45 psi. There we go. We're back up to 45 psi. Now that took 1 minute and 49 seconds. Okay, so your traditional inflator was a few seconds faster than an auto inflator. However, I had to sit there with my thumb on the button the entire time. Whereas with the auto inflator, I could be doing something else. But it's one tyre at a time. So stick around for part 2 of the auto inflator review where we mod it, so we can get 2 tyres done at a time. Something like an inner wise. Now if I can get one of them, we'll do a comparison between a modded auto inflator and the inner wise inflator deflator. So what do we think? Well, I like the fact that you don't have to be in attendance for the inflator to work. It also does PSI, bar, KPA. I mean, pretty much everyone in Australia uses PSI with the exception of a few people who use bar. So all that sort of stuff's covered. You have to charge it using the 240 volt charger to a 12 volt converter. Now that's a bit of a pain, though apparently you get 18 hours of continuous use out of it, though I haven't tested that. What do we think? Well, it's not cheap. It depends how you value your time. Will I be keeping it? Sure will. Now if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and if you didn't, give us a thumbs down. Twice. Thanks guys, we'll see you in the next one.
Take 7, 102.
G'day cobbers, welcome back. What the? That's a serious amount of birds.
That's a murder.
That is a murder of crows.
Going ape shit.
For God's sake.